It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, "Son, can you play me a melody?" Not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Billy Joel, Universal Music Publishing Group, full credit to the legend, to the master, to the piano man himself. And a tribute to a time that some of us got to live, where we actually were learning to love each other. We were proud to call ourselves a nation of immigrants, the melting pot of the world, where love overcame our differences. We had our squabbles, we had our issues. It wasn't a perfect paradise. It was a whip, like I call my art sometimes while I'm working on it. A whip, a work in progress. But if it was a work in progress that was fueled by love. If anything came out of the 60s, the love and peace generation was love and peace. We loved each other, man. We got to love each other. And even though I was a child in the 60s, that desire for peace, that desire for love for everyone, regardless of who you were, of who you loved, of the color of your skin, we were on our way to being that beacon of freedom and democracy that the founding fathers envisioned. And that these beta boy bitches want to pervert, as Abraham Lincoln warned when he said, the people are the rightful masters of both the courts and the Congress, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert the Constitution. And we see a daily perversion of our Constitution by beta boy bitch cowards who are afraid of women, of minorities, of brown people, of Middle Eastern people, of Eastern Europeans, of Caribbean people, of South American people. They're brown. They speak different languages. That's what drives them. Ignorance and hatred and the knowledge that they see minorities succeed after here just a few years without even knowing the language yet. They succeed. And ye are pissed because of that, because of the beauty of our American diversity. So let's give them a lot more of it. Let's give them a lot more of the beautiful, talented American diversity. That is all over. You see it, guys. It's everywhere. You guys are out there. I see you. I call it the beautiful American diversity that they fear most. And every time I see you singing, every time I see your poetry, every time I see your speak, every time I see your talent, I share it, I promote it, I put it out there. And I'm going to do a video where I'm just going to mention those creators, those talented individuals. Because whether you know it or not, or you wanted to acknowledge it or not, the Declaration of Independence was created by a small group of people, young people, who said, "Yeah, King George ain't right. King George ain't right." And they wrote a Dear John letter to King George. And that's what the Declaration of Independence was. And they succeeded to establish a nation against what was the most powerful army in the world. Because freedom was their driving force. Not whiteness, not Christianity. Freedom. Wasn't a nation of white people. It was a nation where you're free to be white. Wasn't a nation of Christians. It was a nation where you are free to be a Christian. And even though they were horrible, damaged men, slave owners, who could have named their nation the Slave Owners States of America, if that was their intention. They could have named it the White States of America, if that was their intention. But because they wanted to establish a nation that would persevere against all foes, foreign and domestic, as we saw on January 6th. And we're currently seeing coming out of our house. They created the checks and balances, the three equal, separate branches of government, for the very purpose of judges being able to stop a dictator. That was their intention. So the system is working exactly like it was supposed to when judges stop dictators from imposing their racist or authoritarian rules and laws that they want to impose on free people. Remember, freedom is the overriding reason, the only reason for this nation. A nation of freedom. And those four little words: we the people and united. The one they fear worst. That's why they fear the talented. That's why they fear the comedians. That's why they fear the performers. They fear talent. They fear the writers. They fear the press. They fear women. And they fear everyone who can succeed despite all the ignorance and hatred and obstacles that they put in our way. So like I've been saying, I want to be your next president. I've never wanted to be a president of anything. It's a calling. I have dreams of sitting in the White House, making decisions for you, not for me, for you. Because I don't even think I should be a president more than 4 years because of my age. I'm just 65. But by the time the election comes and the time the 4 years are over, I have no business being president. So I'm doing it for the younger generation. I want to be that bridge to get all these established old cronies in there who have been there just to profit, and they're no longer functional for you, the American people. They're functional for the billionaires and the oligarchs and the people who are paying for their lush vacations and their luxury while you can't afford to buy bread. enough. We need a president that is out of we the people. And that's what I offer you. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have the wealth to fund a campaign. I'm asking you, what do you want? And I've said it. I mean, I don't think America wants a president to fight for you. You don't want a president to make your life better. We're seeing it. America wants a president to make the life of others worse. That's fucked up. If you believe that, that is fucked up. You know why you feel that way? Because you've given up. You've peaked. You know you've done the best you're ever going to do. And you're never going to do any better. So because you have no aspirations of a better life, because you've been weaponized against yourself, and they've done such a good job that you can't even figure that out. You don't know you've been weaponized against yourself. And that was the plan. So the only thing you're left with is hatred, ignorance and hatred for people who mean you no harm, for people who've done nothing but love you and want to build a better life for them and their families. That's all people want. From everywhere, no matter where you go, that's all people want. They want to live in happiness and in peace within their means. This American obsession with wealth, that's not prevalent all over the world. People want to live well, but they don't want to be the mustache twirling monopoly man who destroyed everybody because I have all the wealth. Monopoly became our national goal instead of the game to show you how bad monopolies were. Because that was the idea. The person who won Monopoly destroyed everybody else. So the message was not that Monopoly was good. It was that Monopoly destroyed everybody on the board. But that's not the message rich people wanted to accept. They were on the other side of the monopoly. They said, yeah, I want to be the guy who destroyed everybody else. And that's what we've seen. We've seen a handful of companies, a handful of people buy up everything, including media, so that they control the message. And that's the end of freedom. Back in the day, there was a guy named Marshall McLuhan. And Marshall McLuhan was, kind of seen as the father of advertising in certain ways, and in many ways. And he used to say, the medium is the message. The medium is the massage. And that's what you've been. You've been massaged by the media to normalize ignorance and hatred for fellow human beings. And think that that's right. That's fucked up. I always, I think back to my grandfather. My grandfather used to call me, when he wanted to get my attention, he used to call me Bartolo. Bartolo. And one of these times he says, Bartolo, el hombre justo nunca tiene que pedir perdón. That translates to, the just man never has to ask for forgiveness. And some people hear that and they say, I don't have to forgive. I'm a man. I don't have to ask for forgiveness. It's not what that means at all. They're missing the key word in there, which is just. Justo, el hombre justo, the just man. That means that if you behave and you live your life in a just way, you'll never have to ask for forgiveness. And that's kind of the way I've lived my life. I'm not a rich man. Profit was never the big thing for me. I wanted a job. I wanted to live well. I wanted to move up in the ranks in my career, my chosen career, which is the creative arts. But at every step of the way, I kept running into obstacles that just made no sense. So I just moved on to the next thing. And hit an obstacle and moved on to the next thing. And so on and so on and so on until the big obstacle, which was when the pandemic hit. And 300,000, I'll say it again, small businesses were allowed to die by the criminal syndicate regime the first time around because they didn't feel they were worth saving. They felt that a small business was a company with 200 employees wiped out an entire generation of small businesses through ignorance and hatred. So I want to change that. I want to do things different. We're going to respect the Constitution. And even though it's flawed, it's not perfect. The overriding element of the Constitution is freedom. Is to protect the individual's freedom, not the corporations. That Citizens United bullshit, that's going to come to an end. And we're going to put the power back into the hands of we the people, like they intended. Founding fathers could have put we the rich people, or we the landowners, or we the slave owners, or we the writers of this document. But they put we the people. They could have put we the white people. They could have put we the Christians. They could have put we the Protestants. They could have put we the ones who own everything. They didn't. They put we the people. And even though they might have not been expressly thinking about every single one of us, including the natives and including black populations, because they were slaves. And because the document itself is a living, growing, breathing document that shows democracy at work within it. Because a few lines down after those big three letters that say we the people, they assign percentages to natives and to blacks. Which I'm sure not all of them agreed with it. Some of them wanted, some of them didn't. So they came to a democratic solution. Fucked up as it was to assign a human percentage value to humanity, to human beings, it was a democratic solution, compromise, to get them all to sign that document of declaration, that Dear John letter to King George. So my question is, do we need a re-declaration of independence from tyranny in 2026? In 2025? Do we need to reassert, a re-independence, a re-declaration to let these beta boy, coward, traitors, and racist bitches know that we the people are the rightful masters? Franklin Roosevelt said, the people are the government, not a president, not a Congress. The people. We're the government. It's us, not them. I've said in another video, why don't we just file an eviction? Let's get enough signatures. We can get 1 million signatures. I'm sure we can get 1 million signatures. And let's file an eviction. Let's the American people evict this tyrant, moron, out of our house. We own that house. He doesn't own the house. Let's start there. I love you. I love every single one of you. White, black, Latino, the beautiful rainbow mafia that we are putting together, because I see your hearts. I see your posts. I even see the responses from the beta boy bitches who get all upset when I make fun of them because they sound stupid. Sometimes satire is required for you to see yourself. Enjoy your Sunday. Hey, we are the American people. We've been through all kinds of disasters, of morons in the White House before. We've been through riots. We've been through disasters. We've been through ignorance and hatred. And we find our way back to each other. And that's what we need to do. We need to find our way back to each other. We the people, the melting pot of diversity that is the driving force and the health of every ecosystem on the planet. Diversity makes it healthy. We're no different. Humanity is part of nature. And denying our nature is denying our humanity. So denying diversity is denying our nature. And only ignorance and cowardly, insecure, beta boy bitches can think diversity, something that Jesus put in every one of his words and is all over the Bible. They're trying to say diversity is a bad thing.
Because we don't need a level playing field. We need to be in charge. We need things in our favor. Because we know we're pathetic little barking chihuahuas. Bark, 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 bark. We have no guts. We have no spines. We have no backbones. We have to use ignorance and hatred to feel better about ourselves. Because we're pathetic white little beta boy bitch barking chihuahuas.
Enjoy.